Hey guys, Raven Alexis D here. So I'm back with another video, and I wanted to have this one focus on the steps you should take if you have problematic skin, dark spots, dark circles under your eyes, acne scarring, because I do, or I'm still kind of recovering from it. My skin was really bad before and it's kind of making its way, but I still do have a few spots here and there. So I wanted to make this video to help anyone who had the same problems as me or used to make these same mistakes as me and didn't realize that there's some things that you could do to help or improve what it is that you are doing. So if you want to see the steps that I take to completely cover my spots, just okay guys, so first we're going to take notice to where exactly our dark spots are, and mine are sporadically on my cheek area and a little spot right here on my forehead. So I'm going to go ahead and use my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is the orange corrector for dark like brown to black spots. You would use a orange corrector, and if you had like red acne scars or like new pimples, you would use green, and that would cover your spot once you put your foundation on top of it. So because I have brown to black spots, I'm going to use a orange corrector, and we are going to see a good difference. So I'm just going along here where my dark spots are. Hope you can see this pretty well. Okay, so now that that's done, we are going to use a flat blending foundation brush and pat that in. Don't swipe it, just press it right in where it is already, because we don't want to take the product off, we want to blend it in. And I don't know if you can see a difference, but I mean, you don't see darkness. I mean, of course you can see the orange cast, but it kind of completely swept out that dark spotness. And excuse me if my words aren't flowing, guys. This is my first video speaking in it, so it's like I just have to know what to say right away, opposed to being able to voice over and delete and re-record what I want to say the right way. I'm just going with it. I'll get better. Okay, so that's all in. And ladies, even if you have dark spots under your eyes, you can put your color corrector all in here and it won't hurt, even if I don't have crazy dark spots, but I'll show you how you're not going to see orange. You don't have to be afraid to use the color corrector underneath your foundation in your eye area, because it fades all out. You just have to blend. So now that area is a little brighter. Wake you up a little bit. Even if, say if you have a little bit of some like circles and you wake up in the morning, you look kind of tired, just put some color corrector under there to help brighten yourself up even before that highlight. It really helps, it works. Okay, so now that that's done, we are going to apply foundation. So we're just going to start applying this foundation over our face, but we don't want to really swoop and blend all in there right away. We have dark spots, so we want to make sure that our main concentration is making sure that we have coverage before we go trying to blend everything in seamlessly, because it won't be if we don't pay attention to those spots. So I'm going to apply my foundation first, same place that I applied my color corrector, which is all up in the cheeks, a little bit on my temple and forehead, right? So we're gonna dab it dab it in there, the only dabbing I do. That's what they be saying on Instagram. Okay, so just dab it in your face, guys. on your face, sorry. And it's going to start looking like skin again. Can you see any dark spots? Me either. And just keep going in there and focusing on those spots. And the reason that we don't want to just start off right away applying our foundation in that circular motion, buffing it in, or however you may apply it, you don't want to do that right away, because remembering that you have that color corrector right there. So if that's placed on your skin, you don't want to start smudging and wiping that away, you know, and it'll slowly fade out. Then we won't have any more color corrector, and you're kind of going to start seeing like a gray like an undercast from that foundation just lying on top of it, and there's no color corrector. You want to kind of like keep that color corrector there and pressing your foundation on top. So I hope you kind of get my hand motions for how that works if I'm not explaining it well enough. But that's all you do. When that's covered, then you can start buffing everything in, because your foundation's already set from the dabbing. So now we can go in, and we're not going to be moving any product around. We're just now actually blending and buffing in. So now our foundation is done, and it just looks like we have a regular fresh face to start with, which is the way we want it to be. It just looks like skin is placed, and now we're ready to start the real makeup process. That is just the beginning, which is why it's called foundation, to lay down the foundation for everything else to start. Okay, so such easy access. I'm going to now put on some highlight. I use the color Almond from LA Girl. I'm just gonna place a little on my forehead, nose, my under eye, okay guys, I'm not going to do a full highlight like chin and all that, because I just want to show you why we need to focus on these dark spots. Okay, so I'm using my foundation, my flat little foundation brush again, and we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to go swiping or trying to buff anything in, because remembering that we're still close to our areas where we may have some dark spots under there. So we just want to keep dabbing and pressing stuff in. We need the foundation and the product to stay on our face. We don't want to wipe it off, like I said earlier, so we're just dabbing and keeping everything in place. So that is what we're going to do, and just pat it in there. Just going to continue to do the same thing on the other side and our forehead and wherever else you chose to highlight your face. And before I actually completely finish this, if you don't have a flat blending brush, my other trick that I started doing, your beauty blender, but don't just start dabbing it right away while it's dry, because if it's dry, remember it's like kind of a spongy, so we don't want it to be dry, and then when it's picking up something moist, it's going to take your product away, if that makes sense. I hope this is making sense, guys. That's going to take your product away, so you want to damp it just a little bit, and then we're going to blend with that beauty blender. That way we're keeping product and blending. We're not snatching away everything we just put on. And that's that. It's very important that you have some type of translucent powder, or like a contour and highlight kit that has some type of powdery substance that you can be putting on top of your liquid highlight. And the reason that this is important is because a liquid can be moved around, you know, so if you're placing some type of powder on top, it just helps it stay in place and last a lot longer. And knowing that we have those dark spots under, that's the one thing we don't want to be revealed. So we need our makeup to stay in place so that it's never moving around, and then we're showing what's visible under there. So I'm going to be using my Luxury Benai translucent powder. So I just put some on here and just start placing it right everywhere that you placed your liquid highlight. And besides just using like a you know, the translucent powder by Benign. I know they're pretty pricey, and this is pricey as well, but it's just an example that if you do have like a highlight, if you do have like a highlight and contour kit, which like I have from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I would just use this lightest shade. Sometimes if I don't really feel like pulling out my Benign powder, I'll just place this on top of where my liquid highlight is. And it's just really important, guys, like I said, so that your makeup stays in place and we're not revealing, you know, like in a few hours you're out somewhere and your skin starts getting oily, or your makeup's gliding, or whatever, it's hot, you're sweaty, and underneath of there will start, you know, that makeup will fade away. This will just really help that powder keep that makeup where it's supposed to be. So we're just gonna let that sit and mineralize into our skin for a couple seconds. And I guess after like a minute or two, maybe after you put some lip gloss or something on, then you can just lightly blend it out. I'm using a my Real Technique brush. This is a blush brush, but I use it to blend because it's so light and soft. It's not gonna like take away my product. I usually use it like after I finish my complete face, just to start blending everything in together, because it doesn't move anything around. It just kind of dusts off anything that's excess product, you know. And you can, you know, follow through after you do those steps, or in just in between, you know, like your highlight and contour and everything else, whatever you like to do, your bronzers and things like that. But I just thought that these steps were really important for covering your dark spots, because I used to make that mistake, like adding on more and more product and wondering why I'm like not completely covering a spot, or it'll have like a gray undertone underneath of my makeup, and then I'm wondering, you know, why. And it's because I'm not either using a color corrector, or because I'm going in and just starting right away buffing the foundation in, and I'm not concentrating on keeping some coverage on that spot. You don't want to lose the coverage that you just placed on your face, so you want things to just stay exactly where you put them. That was the purpose of this video, and I really hope it was helpful to some of you guys who may have not paid attention to like that little niche that kind of helps you when you're doing your makeup. And one step I did forget in the very beginning, guys, sorry, is to make sure that you're using some type of primer. You know, even though we're helping on the outer part of our skin, inner, outer, doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean, on the top base of our skin, we're using this foundation to cover the spot. We want to make sure that underneath is still working as well, and you're putting on some type of primer that promotes healthy skin or brightens your dark spots. Make sure that your face is completely cleansed and you're not applying on makeup after like already wearing makeup or just waking up and going. Make sure that your skin is clean so that you're getting into your pores and you just have refreshed, good, balanced skin before you start applying on any type of foundation to cover something up. I hope this was helpful and you learned any type of little pointers and things like that. If you do have any other steps or things that you know about, you can leave them down in the comment section below, and it'll help me out and other girls as well. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Bye.